All right, everyone, class is about to start. Take your seats. Welcome to UGC 101, the podcast about all things user-generated content.
All right, welcome back to the UGC 101 podcast. It has been a few weeks. I'm your host, Nate Flake, and today we have someone who I've been trying to get on for a while. We finally aligned. Julie, so you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what what you do, you know?
Yeah. So if you don't recognize my face, my name is Julie. I've been a UGC creator for over 2.5 years. I'm Canadian. I'm a mom, and I feel like I have a really relatable story in the fact that I didn't have quick success. I didn't have a background in marketing. I had no experience in content creation. I started when I was on mat leave, and I think one of the best things about my story is that people can relate to it, because when they see all these people that say, I made $5,000 in my first month, it almost feels unattainable.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that that's a great point, because also there's so much stuff on TikTok and Instagram now too, that it's always like, I mean, you know, we both have like communities and stuff, and that's like the biggest thing I run into is like, no, it sounds like a scam. And you're like, no, I promise, like everyone has their own pace. But especially starting where you started, like on maternity leave, you know, and you're like, hey, I'm going to start doing this as a side gig, kind of like what I have been doing for the last, 18 months. I just barely quit my job on July 1st. So it's been 30 days.
Yeah.
And so who got you into it? Like, I love hearing these stories, because we see you on social media. I've been following you forever, and you always wonder, right? You weren't an overnight success. Like, who got you into who told you about UGC?
It was the first person I ever saw talking about it was Salha. And then shortly after, I saw Kelly Rockland. But Salha was Canadian. She's a mom. And I was like, she was just in her like messy mom bun and her sweatpants, and she was like, I'm doing it, like we could do this in Canada. And I was like, oh my god, like we did the math on daycare for 2 kids versus what I would be making, or after what I'd be making, it was going to be like $600 to $700 a month we'd be putting in our bank account, which is working almost for free at that point. And I was just like, I'm a creative person, I'm going to give this a try. That was December 2022. January 2023, I was just like doing it. I'm diving in.
1 month later.
Yeah, there was no courses, there was no mentors, there was no coaches back then, and it was messy. It was slow. It was frustrating, but, I almost quit. I feel like every single day, I think people don't talk about the learning phase enough and how difficult and heavy that is. And, I literally was about to quit 3 months in. I had a couple gifted collabs. It was right when like product photography, everyone was saying that was UGC. So I started just doing things that were not.
You're just taking pictures of
literally
some supplements on the bathroom counter.
like literally though. And then somebody mentioned like Twitter, and I was like, okay, I told myself I was going to give myself 3 months, and then I was just gonna, if this doesn't work, I'm going back to my job that I don't want to do. And then I got on Twitter and I landed a deal within like 24 or 48 hours.
Sheesh.
Like legit 2 days before I was going to quit. For $75.
So your thing was like, if I can like get one deal, that's my sign to quit.
One paid deal. And it was very difficult 2.5 years ago, because a lot of these apps and platforms that you can just sign up and connect and get these gifted or these $10, $20, $80 opportunities were not open to Canadians back then. Like,
really? Like Billow and all those ones?
Billow and Join Brands
probably
just
wasn't
opened
even around.
They just opened to Canadians this year.
What in the world? What do we got against you guys? I'm not wearing my USA hat on purpose, by the way. I just realized that.
Yeah, so it was difficult. I had to go across the border for like gifted collabs.
Oh,
and I'm like,
you're just smuggling? What is going on here? That's
like
wild.
2-hour round trip for things I wasn't even getting paid for, and then I heard someone mention Twitter, and then I went and I literally never left.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So did you like, who did you talk to? Obviously you had no advice, right, to even get started. Were you just like bouncing ideas off of Kelly and Salha, or like how did it
No,
work?
I had nobody.
She was just talking about it, and that's how you got the idea. And then like, I'm just
Yeah,
going to do this on my own.
she just mentioned it a couple times. Like she came across my FYP, you know, like I'm sure somebody comes across my, you know, I come across their FYP or whatever, you know, and it intrigued me the fact that she was a mom and Canadian, because as far as I knew in my head, Canadians could not make money being content creators, right? So, it just like it really changed everything. And the fact that I didn't quit still blows my mind, because like I was crying all the time. I was so stressed, and it was all trial and error, all of it. Like I didn't sign up for coaching or mentoring until I was 9 months in.
Yeah.
I didn't take not one day off for 9 months, not one day.
That's pretty similar. Tammy content, she was my first guest, content.tammy. I grew up with her. So I bought her like PDF guide very first, but she didn't offer coaching. I mean, little that she would laugh now because I basically asked her a million questions. So she was, but it's funny you say that, because like, and I don't want to say like people need to realize how easy they have it, but like you have so many resources now, and like so much free crap on TikTok too, you know, TikTok and Instagram, and everyone's, you know, there's so many resources now. So yeah, that's actually wild you didn't give up. And to know exactly like you said that it's not overnight success for a lot of people. Like, yeah, some people get lucky still and they land a 4-figure deal their first month and they think it's that easy, but it's not always that easy. And some people I think naturally have a little bit of a knack for it. So there's a higher learning curve for some, right? Yeah. Like anything else in life. I
totally agree with that. And I think it you know, like I have a student who's 52 years old, and this guy is like 0 to 100 so fast. And it's funny because I'm getting DMs from all my other students going, how come Chris is landing all these big deals and I'm not? And then we find out that one of them's working 20 minutes a day, while Chris is working 6 to 8 hours a day. So it's like, I don't think people really understand the workload that comes in being successful for most people. If you are already comfortable on camera, if you already know how to edit, if you're already a content creator, or a lot of UGC creators have backgrounds in marketing, you
TikTok shop.
Yes, so far ahead of the people like me and a lot of people who started from zero. I didn't even know how to send a Google Drive when I started. Like it was like literally I started below the ground.
Yeah. You're Googling how do I use Google Drive. That's unreal.
Like quite literally. Yes,
that's
exactly.
Insane.
Like that's not even an over exaggeration at all.
Yeah, no, I think you're 100% right. I think that it's tough too. I mean, I've got a community and almost same story, right? It's hard when like someone's crushing, but it's an input output thing, right? Not all the time. Like that person, this Chris guy, right? Maybe he was already comfortable on camera, or maybe his care level was way lower than some people that care about people seeing them on ads. So they kind of like, you can tell the ones that are like kind of being reserved in their ads and like monotone and
for
not
sure.
being their true personality. I'm like, dude, talk. Like I've got buddies that have gotten into this that made fun of me for a long time, and now they're like asking me for advice, which is so funny. Yeah. But I'm like, your real personality is fun, dude. Don't get on camera and just turn into a robot. Like, get on camera and use your normal voice. What are you doing? Why are you talking like that? You know?
It's something that I really put a heavy focus on for people that ask me, what should I be doing as a beginner? And I'm like, you need to talk to the freaking camera. Like there's nothing like, when you do social media audits and you see UGC creators and whatever, and their whole feed is just trending audios with text on screen. And I'm just like, I want to scream at them, talk to the camera, you know, like,
or voiceovers, which is also not the same.
Yeah.
Right. Of like their voice, like, they're talking to camera, but they're not facing and watching themselves. That's very different too.
It's so different.
Like a faceless UGC video and actually getting your face in front of the camera are very, very, very different.
It's a really underrated thing to focus on as a beginner. And I think that, like, I think we're all guilty of it in the beginning, because I mean, especially for me, like I was not comfortable on camera. I used to sound like a robot. I used to do this thing because I hated my double chin, and I used to wear, like never come on barely barefaced, and I used to do this voice and this poised thing, and it was just like, no wonder like my ads never converted, because nobody wants to watch you sound like, it's
like an
easily,
influencer.
yes, and it's easily spottable when people don't sound like themselves, and like you just have to loosen up. Like, you can have the best product and the best script, but if you sound like you are reading from a script, it's never going to convert. Like, it's just never going to work. And it's something that people really, really need to put a lot of focus on, is loosening up. Like, brands are paying for your face, your energy, your vibe, your personality, the things that they can't replicate. And so I always I'm sure you tell people all the same thing too, is talk like you're talking to a friend, like your sister, like your best bud. Like, we talk like how you normally talk in real life, and like it will change everything.
Yeah. Well, and I also think like that's something I actually don't like give a ton of advice for, which is great point for you, is like, hey, if you are having a slow week, or like when you start, they're all slow weeks, right? Mm-hmm. Like, if you want to do something, instead of doing outbound pitches all day and drafting a bunch of emails, like, get on camera. So then when you do get your shot, like, you're ready. I think that's a great point. I think a lot of us focus too much, including me when I first started, on like getting on the platforms and the systems and all the back end business crap side of it too, and not enough on like, okay, now I have one, crap, now what, right? And I think that's where people start to panic, is when they get their first order. Like, this, but I'm like heavy on Fiverr, right? That's like a lot of my coaching stuff's on Fiverr. And so, and like, they get to that point and they're like, what do I do now? I'm like, well, it's in there too. Like, you stopped because now you're panicking. Now you actually have an order. Like, it's all there. But like now, like, and then even like the admin side of that's one thing, but now you got to get on. Now it's like showtime. Like, you're getting on stage, and now you got to do your thing, and it's so interesting that people are just don't. Yeah, it's definitely a learned skill. And even still, I'll get some videos now and I'm still super uncomfortable. I'm like, this is so awkward, but like, you just got to power through it. Yeah, B-roll where you have to dance and crap like that, and you're just like, oh, brutal.
Yeah, I know. I just did one. I had posted the example on Twitter. It was for a like vaginal health supplement, and they were like, the script literally said, make a like drink with me and talk about like it was like, get a little weird, and I was just like on it. And it was funny because I posted on Twitter and I was saying all these weird phrases things, and everyone was like, you could not pay me to do this, or I can't believe I can't believe you did it. And I was just like, I mean, they had a big budget, so I was like, oh, whatever, man, like, I'll do it. It was really awkward, and like, thank God, like, nobody was in my house when I had to do it. But
like, those supplement ones are the worst. I swore, I mean, I've been doing this less time than you, but I swore for the longest time I wouldn't do like ED stuff. And guess who does ED stuff all the time now? Like, I don't care anymore, because they got big budgets, dude. These guys, like, I mean, everyone, these companies are printing money,
I know, it's not so funny. I was just talking to another creator, the same thing, and he's just like, you start to almost like you don't care anymore about I think a lot of it comes from the fear of the people seeing it and judging you and whatever. And it's funny because I'm sure most people will agree, doing this has been like the biggest confidence boost ever. Like, you look at yourself all the time, you hear yourself all the time, and you start to just not really give a crap like
I was gonna
what
say
people are saying about you. It's like that phrase, it's only cringy until you're successful, right?
So it's like, cringy until your friends ask you about it, right? And they're making fun of you, and then at some point they're like, well, can I do that? Like, oh, cool, now you want to try,
literally,
that's funny
all the time. Yeah,
that's wild. So let's go back to I kind of got us derailed there for a second. So you quit your job. You basically say, I'm not coming off maternity, I'm just done. So then how did you start to ramp? Because I know you're like on X, especially on Twitter, you're crushing, right? Like, how did you, I know we've talked about that. Like, was like that your bag? You're like, I'm going to do X only. Did you focus hard on that? Did you get on, I know you're on like Fiverr and stuff as well, but like, where did you go from there? Your first $75 deal, take me to the next like couple months.
It was, that was at the end of my third month. And so I was like, okay, this is a real thing. I can do this. And then in my 4th month, I actually made over 4 figures. And I was like, the deals were just coming in off Twitter. And I was like, okay, because pitching is extremely time consuming, right?
Yeah, I'm not a
If
big
you're doing
pitcher.
it properly, it's extremely time consuming. And I was like, I don't have the time to pitch, to learn literally everything from A to Z, take care of my house. I had a 5-year-old, I had a baby, I have a dog. Like, I just didn't have the time to either create content for my social media, right? So like, I did not have the time to do that all. And one of the things that I really liked about Twitter, and that I still love about Twitter, it's like my bread and butter. Like, I love Twitter, is that you don't have to create like physical content. I don't have to get in front of the camera for Twitter. It's literally 90% text posts, right? Like, I'm a mom with little kids. Sometimes I go like 3 or 4 days without showering.
Oh, you're talking about posting. Oh, yeah. Okay, I thought you were about like responding to stuff. So are you getting a lot of stuff? Again, I'm going to derail us, but that's what this is for, right? This is unhinged. But are you doing most of your, like, are you getting a lot of stuff by dropping your portfolio, or are you having inbounds on Twitter because you're just posting text stuff? And you can tell how bad I am because I follow you on Twitter, and I'm so bad at getting on Twitter. And I've done like maybe 2 deals on Twitter total.
Both. So
okay.
This is probably going to blow your mind.
Yeah.
I don't do UGC part-time. I do it less than part-time now. Like, obviously in the beginning when I was learning everything, felt like it was
crazy
12 million hours a day. But now that I'm not out of that like learning phase, and I'm, you're still educating all the time and learning to better your content and strategy and all those things, but it's not as heavy as it was before. Like, I am not working that much. And in 2.5 years, I've made $117,000 without pitching, without Fiverr, and for most of that, like, without a social media presence, right? Like, I had a video blow up like a few months ago, it got me like 10,000 followers. But like, I have 800 followers on Instagram, and it's literally all because of Twitter. I've pitched like 7 brands in 2.5 years.
Meaning like email. Everything else has been on Twitter. That's wild.
I know.
That's crazy. How often are you posting? Are you posting like a couple times a day, like just text posts? Yep. Or are you like nuts? Are you like the Miss Twitter? You're like 9, 10, 12, 15 posts a day?
No, it's not that much. It's usually about 5, but it's not so hard. Like, there's a really easy strategy to it that I feel like people just don't know. And I just, I try to post one UGC example every single day. I schedule my posts, so I do them on like Sunday night. You can schedule, if you guys don't know, you can schedule your posts right in Twitter.
You don't have to have like the Hootsuite or any of that software.
You don't need a third-party site, and
that's sweet.
It's so easy to do. But then also applying on Twitter is easy, because you just say like,
drop your portfolio.
You just drop your portfolio, and like, if they're saying like, hey, I'm looking for someone who's 35 and above with kids, I let them know that is me. I am the one you're looking for.
I'm like too enthralled about this. Do you suggest saying anything besides here's my portfolio? I know a lot of people just drop their portfolio, don't say a word.
Yeah, a lot of people will say like interested, and then they drop their portfolio. Now, that may work sometimes, but a lot of these posts, like, they're kind of, some of them are very vague. It'll just say we're looking for 10 UGC creators or whatever. They don't necessarily give like a location or an age demographic, or even mention what the product is for, right? Like, some brands will say for a tech company, for a shapewear brand, for a kid's brand or whatever.
Vague.
So, like, you can't really let them know like, hey, I fit the person you're looking for, because you have no idea. But you still need, you can phrase it in a way that's like, hey, I have 2.5 years experience. Like, I'd love to know more. I'm positive I can create exactly what you're looking for. It comes across, it's confidence, right? Like, that confidence in I am the person for you. I will get the job done. You will love it. And, like, that's what Interested's not going to do it most of the time. Just linking your portfolios, not going to do
your
it.
link. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah,
that's wild. That's wild. Yeah, I need to be. I say that every day. I'm like, I need to freaking be more active. I think it's been like 2 months since I've even posted anything on Twitter, which
You
is so bad.
should. And because there's so few men in the space, there's a lot of opportunities for men on Twitter. And like when you see the opportunities for women, you know, if you're not, I don't want to say you lose out if you're not first, because a lot of them will go through quite a few,
Gotta be quick.
you know,
Yeah.
people. But the men, like you might have, say you have an opportunity that has for a water bottle, right? And it's the same post posted by the same person with the same information, and all they change is female to male. The female one is probably going to have 100, 200 people comment on it, but the one for men might have like 30, 20.
Yeah.
So the competition, you're just better off because there's not a lot of competition,
less men doing
right?
it, and there's probably less men like me that don't even get on Twitter that much. I need to.
Yeah.
How do you tell? I know, like, one of the reasons that, well, besides I just literally haven't prioritized it, and I say I don't have time, but I have time where I'm scrolling doing nothing. I could 100% move my thumbs to a different app and do that, right? But one of the things that I've noticed, I've heard a lot of people talk about, especially on TikTok, is like how many scams there are in X. Like, how do you tell? Like, I know you're talking about like being vague, right? Some of those people may say being vague, like they might be being vague because they have a reason for that. Like they can't, tell you the client name yet or any of that kind of stuff, which just makes sense. But like, what are some signs of like, so people don't get scammed? I feel like it's the Wild West a little bit.
Yes. And I feel like same, like, everywhere there's a lot of scammers.
Yeah. Fiverr has a bajillion scams.
Fiverr, right? Like I literally just set up my Fiverr like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. So like,
you
know
were
what I
on
mean?
Fiverr before?
I was on there, but I got like one gig, like
it's so wild how we all have our different lanes, and like, I know, it's just super interesting. I love it. I know.
And oh shoot, what were we just talking about?
Scams on X or Twitter.
Yeah. So there's definitely some things that I kind of like to look out for. So number one is the e-com bros. It's very obvious to spot these guys, and it's not to say it's a scam. It's just typically not a good experience, and they very much undervalue the creators, and they, it's just, you can tell a lot of it by the things they post. So you can go to people's page and see all their posts. You can see all the replies they make. A lot of the e-com bros will post like bro material mixed in with like their e-commerce stuff. So it might be, there was one guy that was posting a lot of like Andrew Tate stuff, and it was just like, oh, red flag, like, okay. And, just, you can tell the people that treat it as
a frat boy. Yeah.
Yes. You can tell, the ones that by the way they present themselves online, whether it gives off professional or whether it doesn't. But then there's also ones where they'll ask, this is a pretty common one for like a free trial or like a tester video.
I hate that.
You get this in their emails all the time too. But, and it's, if you want to take it for the experience because you're new, that's fine. But I always tell my students, like, don't hold your breath on the more opportunities. Okay. I've been around here for a long time, and I have yet to hear someone get an opportunity from these free trials. We want to see how your content performs. Well, the only one who's going to accept those deals are people who are brand new. And I tell you what, their content's never going to perform. So it's just like a ploy to get the free content. But there's the scams anywhere where they ask for your driver's license or your passport information or whatever. Like, I feel like the scams are probably pretty the same across what you're getting in your email as to what they are on Twitter.
Like, don't pay for shipping, don't pay for tariff fees. That's a new one I've seen a ton of. Like, oh, there's a new tariff fee and we have to have you pay it. I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you need to do like a gifted collab or free collab, I feel like you should do them on platforms like Billo, where it like helps you get to a certain level, like, right? Like it's doing some value for you, even if they don't hire you again. Whereas like Twitter is just like, I guess if you want the experience, but if you want the experience, pick up that water bottle and go make a video for it. Ask ChatGPT.
Exactly. And, oh my God, my brain is like not working. I literally just lost my train of thought again.
I don't know. You're good. We were talking about, the free collabs and how they say they're gonna perform and they never come back.
Yeah. And I recently just took a gifted collab that I got off Twitter, but it was a product I needed.
Yes.
So like, I'm very much for, like, I definitely don't have this mentality of like nothing, like I'm too good for certain things, right?
Yeah.
So I will evaluate every single deal that comes my way. Do I have the time to take it on? Does the budget match the scope of work? Do I need this product? Will it be a good video for my portfolio?
Yeah.
Do I see potential to work with this client long term? If it's an answer to yes to one of those, it's going to be a yes from me.
Okay, that makes sense. I like that because I think a lot of time, like if you think back to when you started, a gifted collab was like really cool, and it's like you can't get too big for your shorts. You're like, oh, that's beneath me or whatever.
And
I just took one the other day.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it for something I don't need or something I don't want.
Yeah.
But like, if I just took a lower paying one last week for a dog water fountain, and I hadn't done pet in a while, and the ones that were on my portfolio were like not the best representation of my skill set.
So what you
so
can do
I was
now?
like,
yeah.
Let's, I'll take a little bit of a lower one. I'm kind of taking like the summer off really, but so I was like, I have the time. I need it for my portfolio. Okay, like we'll do it. Like I think you probably see these people, the creator coaches online, and they say, don't take anything less than $250 as a beginner. And I'm like, these people are never going to make any money.
Well, and if they do take the $250 one and the brand gets it and it's absolute crap, they're going to be pissed, and it like ruins your rep.
Hired again. Like,
yeah, I mean, I mean, my whole thing is like Fiverr. It's like we're starting between $50 and $100, which is probably too low, but I'm like, that's the only way you can move up levels on some of these platforms. And you also got to look at the value. Like you're talking about that dog water fountain's probably a couple $100, like you look at the value of the actual product too. I did one the other day because I needed a new pickleball paddle, and I'm like, hey,
I see a lot of people doing those. It looks
pickleball's
fun.
Legit. Yeah, and it's a brand, like it's a smaller brand that doesn't have these massive like Franklin budgets or there's like 3 companies that basically own the pickleball space, and I'm like, no, I would love to support a smaller company that like doesn't have those crazy budgets.
Yeah, I think that mindset is really important, and I think some people, I don't know, like there's nothing wrong with knowing what your time is worth, and your skill set and your experience and all those things are worth something. But I think when you have that, that's below my rates, I'm not accepting anything below my rates, whatever mentality, it really can close the door to a lot of really great opportunities and long-term partnerships. Obviously not everyone, I've done one of those $500 for 30 videos when I was brand new. Like, don't do those. Don't do those.
It'll wear you. Well, it burns you out so fast.
It's so bad. But, I think people, this business can be a lot about relationships, big time on relationships, right? Like, most of my clients at this point are repeat clients. Like I'm barely working this summer, and I think I have like $7,000 lined up for August, and
that's crazy.
I know. And it's come from repeat clients, being a pleasure to work with, delivering on time, communicating like all of my thoughts and whatever to the brands.
Yeah, ideas, and, things like that. Yeah.
Being delightful to work with. Like, you can always tell people you can always recover from subpar content, but you can never recover from giving your clients a bad experience.
Yeah. I love that. And just being bad communicators and all that, which all goes into that too. Random question on that as well is, so you're saying, okay, you have 7,000 lined up for August. Are you like, I see a lot of creators that are like, hey, my August is filling up. Hey, I'm booked out until the end of August. Are you taking on a certain amount a week? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is there a number where you're like, I only take 18 projects a week. That is my max, or anything like that? Or like, how do you, I got it. Like you're just saying, hey, I don't have time to do this till August. So then you just kind of pile it up. I could do that second week of August, or like, how are you doing that?
No, it's actually, okay. So, I'm in British Columbia.
Yeah.
And we have like our province's like recycle program, which is like Recycle BC.
Okay.
I may not be working for the luxury skincare brands, but apparently this says recycling. And so
Unreal.
So I'm worked with them. It was like this is my second time working with this agency, and this is how they do it. They usually do a package of 6 videos, and then they split it between, like I did it for Create a Treat, and it was Halloween and Christmas, so
Oh,
3 and
cool.
3.
So
And then
you're gonna get yeah.
So we did it in, I don't know, what was that, 2 months ago, and they said we'll do the other 3 in August, and I was like, great. Like, I'm not even really working this summer. The fact that they had a very healthy budget, I will say, like it's better than the skincare brands. Okay. So they were like, yeah, we'll circle back in August. I'm like, cool. I could literally make 3 Instagram reels and make way more than if I was working full time and paying for daycare and probably do it in one day. And then I have another brand, Lazy Boy Vancouver, actually, and they were like,
oh heck yeah,
we want to work with you in August, end of August. And I was like, great. And they booked like a massive package. So literally that's for 2 clients.
That's so awesome.
I know.
But you don't max out, like when you're not on like break and you're like in the neck of it. Do you ever say like, okay, I'm only taking 10 this week and then 10 next week, or do you just kind of like play it by ear?
Oh, I kind of just.
I know some do that.
I actually started doing this a while ago, and it's literally life-changing if there's any parents watching this. So if I can't do 48-hour turnarounds. I can't even do, 72-hour turnarounds. I ask every single new client, or when clients come back, I ask them if they have flexibility in the delivery time.
Delivery date, yeah.
And I, like, for now, for summer, I'm just like, I want to enjoy the time with my kids. I want to go to the beach and I want to do this. And I don't want all my packages to show up and then be stressed out and then trying to film with a 4-year-old and like
That's me this week, yeah.
Whatever. So I ask for that flexibility, and then I just say, like, are you good with like a 2-week turnaround? And they'll be like, yeah, for sure. And like, I just had a knife brand that I worked with at Christmas book a really big package, and they were just like, yeah, like whenever you get it to us, like we don't have like a timeline for this. And I was just like, amazing. So like, and because like, I'm in Canada, sometimes the shipping can take a long time. So I literally have a brand. I've been waiting on the shipping for like 6 weeks. You never know when things are going to turn up. So to say, well, I'm not going to take any more today because I'm already signed a few clients this week doesn't make any sense. So like, I just, sometimes it's a grind, and I'm sure you've had those times where you're up editing till 1 a.m. because
that's right now. That's this week, honestly.
Yeah, you got to get some stuff done, or you get up at 5 to get the admin work done before the kids get up and whatever. That does happen, but it's nice to be able to have that relationship with your clients and the understanding of like, hey man, like things are really backed up over here. Is it okay if we push it back a couple days? And they've already kind of got it in their head that it's going to need some flexibility. So
well, the two things about that too is like, one is you've built up that. So if you're like a new UGC creator and listening to this, like you've earned that, right? Like it's not like a brand reaches out and you're brand new, you're like, hey, give me 2 weeks, right? Like, well, you're new, you want to be quick, but like because you've earned that trust with the brands, it's like really, it's a cool thing to have. And I think the second thing, the second good point from that is that you then put yourself as the hero when you get it in 7 days, if you can get it in early. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I was able to get it to you early. Like that's why I've set my date about wow, how many stutters back about a week, and I always deliver 2 days early, right? Because then it makes me look good. And I was already planning on 5 days, but to them it's 7. I'm like, hey, I was able to get your video early, and then if it ever does get crazy crunch time, then I can do it in 7 and there's no harm, no foul.
Yeah, exactly. There are some brands that have that hard deadline, and they're like,
for sure,
we're launching this on Monday. We need it by Wednesday the week before, right? Or whatever. But like a lot of times there's actually a lot of flexibilities. So like, it just doesn't hurt to ask. Like if you feel like you might have a ton of packages all arriving at one day, because we know, that's like, it happens, right?
Yeah, all the time.
It's nice to know which clients have that flexibility and which ones don't, because I think at the end of the day, all the clients want the good content. If you just let them know and say, oh my goodness, my kid has been sick, I'm sick, like, or all my packages just arrived at one time, I'm so sorry, like, I don't want to rush the content. 9.9 times out of 10, they're going to be like, all good. Thanks for letting us know. As long as you communicate it with them and give them like the notice. I have never had a client be like, no. Like,
yeah. Well, I think that's what's that, and this may seem super arrogant, but I feel like from us that came from the corporate world, right? Like that's the one thing that is really, that I've like really dialed in and like really emphasized in my community is like over communicate, you guys. Over communicate. They're not going to be annoyed if you ask too many questions. You know, they're like all the questions all the time. Like, hey, what do you think I should wear for this? I'm like, what does the brief say? Well, it doesn't say. Well, email them, ask them. You know, they're not going to be like, hey, how dare you ask about the video that we're spending $400 on? You know, they're going to be pumped that you're asking them, and it also helps build rapport too. So I feel like the communication side of things is like, and it's like you said, like if you're like this deadline is just like, it may just be a random number they came up with. 7 days actually really doesn't matter. It can be 14 days. You know. Like to them, they're gonna be running ads regardless, and they're gonna be getting in ads different at different times of the week and stuff like that. So it actually might, you never know. It could be the other person on the other end. It's like, oh sweet, I actually can't even edit that for another week, so that's cool. Send me that later. You know.
Oh, totally, right? Like this, and we're all working from home, and there's things that are happening at home. And especially like for me, most of my, like a lot of my clients are like family content, kid content, mom content. Like they are well aware that I have children at home. So it's like, you have to, for that aspect, really think about who you're working with here. You're working with parents that work from home with children in the
and
house.
It's summer.
And it's summer. And you need it to be quiet while there's filming going on. Like, okay, you're gonna need to give me a little flexibility here, right? Like, it's just
and it doesn't help as they get older, by the way, just so you know. I've got a 12 and 13-year-old, and they just like, I can't wait for freaking school to start. I'm like, we just remodeled our kitchen. So I'm like trying to do his kitchen video. I got this freaking kitchen brand. I'm like all pumped about it. And I'm like, dude, could you not slurp your top ramen like right now? Like, could you just not do that while I'm filming at noon? I'm like, go play with your friends. Get out of the house.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult. I actually prefer the admin side of this because I can do that with a noisy
anytime.
house.
Yes.
There was a long time there where I was doing a lot of voiceovers because it's like you can do the B-roll while the house is noisy, and then you just turn the volume off, and you can do the voiceover while the kids are asleep, right? So
and
that's one of the things that I am very heavy on when like my students are telling me like, I have 5 kids, how am I going to do this? And I'm just like, voiceovers are your friend.
Yeah. And do all of your editing after the sun goes down. Like if you have 5 projects, don't film and edit at 11 and then film it at the next one at noon. No, do all your filming, edit after everyone's asleep in your house. You know what I'm saying? And you'll be able to hear it better. How annoying is it trying to edit and your kids are screaming in the background? You're like, guys, like I can't edit this, right? And
100%.
So I think that's great advice. Is
I think the UGC parents are kind of built a little different.
I think I said this on another episode, but I've like edited videos as I'm like dozing off, and I'm like, I gotta get this in by freaking like, by 6 a.m. tomorrow. So if I fall asleep, I'm gonna miss the deadline. And then I'll catch myself and then I'll like have to like literally almost slap myself. I'm like, okay, let me watch this. Oh, that was the worst edit ever. I gotta hurry and re-edit it because I'm like dragging the sound too far, and you're like laying in bed. But it's funny, it's happened multiple times.
I think we've all been there, and it's funny because I just don't think people talk about that part enough when they're trying to sell the dream of this business. So I'm very transparent on this being hard and this being work. And if you have a job and you have kids, it's just going to be that much harder. You can't compare your journey as someone who's 35 with 4 kids and a job to someone who's 22 and lives with their parents, or this is their full-time job. You know what I mean? You just cannot compare the two. And I think there's actually more people in our like age demographic now that are kind of out there showing people like, yeah, you can do this, but like, yes, it is work. You know what I mean?
It's work,
like, the fluff and the BS around the buy my course and you're gonna, I made 7K in my first month, you can too, is so unrealistic for most people.
I think that's super true. And I think also the work that goes into it. Anna, I mean, we know Anna, right? I interviewed her, A Plus Socials, if you guys aren't following her on TikTok, but she put a video up the other day that's like, because something I go live. I think I've seen you live a ton too, trying to like just give out. That's how I learned, like give out free advice and crap. But one thing I always say is like anybody can do this. She made a video about this, right? Where it's like anybody can do this, but it's really, really hard. Like it takes a lot of work, right? Anybody can like learn how to do it, but it's your learning curve is going to be way different from somebody else based on your like things you already can't change about yourself, your age, your gender, all that stuff, right?
Yeah. Time availability.
If you have kids or you have a spouse or whatever. But I do believe, and tell me if you think this is BS. I think anybody, doesn't matter how old they are or how well they are on camera, as long as they put in the work, I think anybody can do UGC. Depending on how successful, that's like arbitrary, right? That depends on the time of year, depends on how many people are reaching out. But if they put in the work, anybody can get their first paid collab. That's my hot take.
It's not even a hot take. It's not because, you know, like to build off what Anna said, she might have actually got this from me because I am a strong believer that anyone can do UGC, but not everyone can be successful because not everyone is prepared to do the work.
Yeah. So to change that phrase, anybody, if you put in the work, can be successful over time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
It doesn't matter your ability, your background, what you look like, your technical skills, where you live, because I hear that all the time. I don't have a nice house, whatever. I don't look like an influencer. And it's just like, you're not supposed to. That's the whole point. Like, it's, you know, it's relatable. It's authentic. People don't want to see that lifestyle they can't relate to anymore. They want to see people in their, you know, in their regular old kitchens making food. Like it's everything is switching. And I don't know if you've noticed this as well. Like the polished, poised ads with all the fancy editing and sound effects.
Yeah, they're going out the window.
They're out. Ugly ads are in.
Yeah, it's ugly ad season, baby.
Yes, it is. And I am here for it. I literally had a brand the other day that was like, yeah, can you do like messy mom bun and sweatpants? And I was like, I got you. I'm already in it. I got you.
You're like, lucky for you.
Yeah.
I'm actually wearing that right now.
Literally. Like I'm literally in my
that's so
sweatpants
funny.
right now, 90% of the time. Like I am so here for that. And obviously that's going to be niche specific. Like if you're doing you know, the luxury items and those sort of things, you know, you got to fit the part.
Well, you're going to get picked for the niches you fit in, right? Like and I think like there's people, and you're talking about 52-year-old Chris, right? Is that his name? So I've got a 66-year-old Mark, okay, and he like you would have sworn that the dude didn't know how to edit. His first gig took a lot of time to put together in Fiverr, right? And if Mark, you're listening to this, I love you, buddy. And now he's getting like almost weekly, like 3-4 times a week deals on Fiverr. And I'm like, he's like, hey, I'm like, bro, how, like you would have never thought you would have done this, but you stuck to it. You learned how to edit. You kept sending revisions. We kept telling you to change things. You know what I'm saying? And like anybody can do this. You're going to have to be okay to look dumb for quite a while. And it's okay. Right. But you're going to get those things despite your age, just like it's, and you're going to, I don't know, like I talked about this other day is I'm not even outdoorsy, but because I've done a couple of videos here in Utah, like in the mountains and stuff, people like brands think that I'm like some Bear Grylls guy, and I'm not, but that's like somehow become like one of my niches now. It's like outdoorsy stuff. I like freaking camp.
You kind of have that look.
Never touched a fish. I literally, my buddies roasted me. I sent a picture with my neighbor's fishing pole, and I'm like, guys, going fishing. They're like, you've never touched fish in your life. I'm like, yeah, that's the point, you idiots. Like, I'm joking about it. But like it's your niche kind of finds you a little bit. And I'm like a big proponent of no niche. Like, right, we're not going to niche down.
Yeah.
But your niche is going to find you, right? Like you probably didn't start out promoting like, hey, I'm going to do a ton of mom content, but like that's just fun. You probably did a couple awesome videos with your kids, and then stuff starts to snowball. Like it's just interesting how it happens. The snowball may take longer than others, depending, right?
You just
like I'm never going to get any. I'm never going to get any things where I have to take my shirt off. Luckily, but like I'll get stuff that's fat loss, and I'll start that. You'll see the befores. You just won't see the afters.
Like, you have to lean into like your age.
100%.
And
Yeah.
the things, I'm starting to get like all these products like anti-aging and perimenopause and Botox, and I'm just like, all right, we are in it. Like I've done life insurance, pet insurance, a will.
A will, like a living will?
Like a
Unreal.
will. Through like Royal Canadian Bank for one of their partners. It was like
How
one
cool.
of the biggest banks in Canada. And it was like, like a literal will. And it's funny because the most non-aesthetic brands seem to have like the best budget.
Pay the best, I was going to say. Yeah, the
so
least sexy things are the things that pay the best.
I'm here for it. I'm so here for it, right?
That's
like
sweet.
All that the shame goes out the window. I used to want the skincare products and all those. And then I'm like, no.
It's been a while since I've got a product that I was like, hell yeah. Like, it's pretty rare that I get a product like that anymore,
Yeah.
I think you're right. Like the products that sell the most are the products you've never heard of.
Yeah.
Like these things that like you wouldn't think to use. Like, oh, I didn't know people bought those. Like, I thought they just appeared magically in people's bathroom cabinets, like it's so interesting.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like sometimes, and it's funny because you really have, some products are just an easy sell. They're an easy sell. They're a cool product. They basically sell themselves. Yeah. And this is where like learning strategy comes in really handy, because you have to work a little bit harder for some products. But yeah, some of the most unexpected products do like mega, conversions for your clients. And you're just like, really? And it's always like the simplest ads, or the ones that you don't always put the most effort into. It's so weird.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, before I wrap up, I have a random question. So you just got back from Creator Confidential.
I did.
Why are there so many Canadian women UGC creators? I feel like there's like this cult following of like, it's wild to me.
Well, what else are we gonna do? We don't have.
Because you guys don't have TikTok Shop?
We don't have TikTok Shop.
Yeah, that's
bull crap. We don't have the Creator Fund. So it's like, people who want to be content creators in Canada are really diving into UGC. And I don't know if it's like, there's like this, there's probably way more in the US. I'm sure, well, obviously, because your population's like 1 million times ours. But, if you went to an event in somewhere in the US, it would probably be
mostly US. Yeah, that's true.
American
I just feel like
creators,
a ton of
right?
UGC creators I follow. I mean, I've interviewed Mare. I feel like a lot of the big names, you guys are all just like in the clique. I love it. Like, it's just called Canadians. I don't understand it. It's wild.
Because we don't have anything else here. Like
there's nothing else to do.
There's a creator, an influencer in Canada who has 1.7 million followers, who reached out to me to ask me how I was making money.
Dude, isn't that wild?
I was like, you have 1.7 million followers, you're not making any money? And she was like, no.
I can't get paid.
I was like, yeah, because we don't get paid per views. And I'm
no,
like,
but it's a US thing too. It's a US thing too. I live in Utah, and I've had a local influencer that has 900K on Instagram, 1.2 on TikTok.
Yeah.
Asking about the course and UGC and, hey, how do you do this? And the reason, though, not because it's Canada, but because brands aren't paying influencers what they used to.
Yeah, I think
I think its budgets are going.
The established influencers, like, they're doing what they need to. But yeah, like in Canada, there's no way to make money as an influencer unless you're getting paid brand deals, or it's like affiliate marketing, right?
You can't get paid off the views.
Yeah, there's literally nothing. I was like, I have 5,000 followers and you have 1.7 million followers.
And you're asking me
how
you
I make
felt
money.
Pretty cool. Yeah, that's
crazy.
Cool.
I was
you're like,
oh
you want the course, your price? Yeah, just email me. It's a different price.
It's wild. And it just goes to show that not a lot of people still know about UGC.
Oh, yeah. Brands too. The brands too. We could talk about it all day. Like how, because you probably hear this all the time as a coach, right? I hate that term coach, but I guess that's what we are. Is like, well, it's UGC's too saturated. Like, there's not enough, gonna be a demand in 2-3 years. I'm like, dude, you guys have no idea. There's so many brands. For the thousands of brands that are hiring all of us, there's 10x more that don't know what UGC is yet.
And there's, I always tell people it's not oversaturated. It's just becoming competitive, right? So
Yeah.
you do have to put in more work now than you did probably 3 years ago or 3.5 years ago, right? You can't just put a portfolio together and start pitching to brands with zero experience and zero idea what brands want. Like
Yeah.
that doesn't work in 2025. You're not going to land brand deals with just unboxing videos and faceless aesthetic content on your portfolio.
Yeah.
Like you just have to put in that work, like to be an actual social marketer, right? So
Yeah.
it's just some people don't have what it takes to put in that effort, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's a great transition into the last thing I wanted to ask you is you have a course. I want to ask you, can you like describe it? Does it heavy on like how to get brand deals on Twitter?
Yeah.
Is that it?
It's so
That's the
we
key.
have it's really everything. And it's so much more than just like Twitter, right? I have a masterclass on Twitter. We talk about Twitter a lot. Like,
Okay.
it's more about the support and the guidance for people who need a little extra help. Most of my students are millennials, Gen Xers, or boomers. So they are very much confused on how this all works. And so, of course, we have everything from A to Z that you need to learn, but it's also heavy on the support on, when people have questions or they don't know how to negotiate or whatever. Like I'm very involved in the community.
Love it.
And it's like a little family,
Yeah. You're creating a space that you didn't have that you wish you had when you started.
Yeah, support,
I love that.
guidance, someone who really understands what it was like to struggle in the beginning. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I did.
Well, sometimes like it's going to sound weird, but I feel like the emotional support has half the battle sometimes, right? Of like people just knowing like, hey, just don't quit. Like you're doing all the right things and it's not your fault that your Fiverr gig isn't blowing up yet. It's not your fault that people aren't responding to this. Like just freaking hunker down. You're going to get there,
And I think a lot of that comes from the social media fluff and BS and people.
Fast wins. Yeah.
Fast wins, quick success, 4 figures in their first month. And you don't see that, that's just a very small percentage of people.
Yeah, it happens, but it's pretty rare. Yeah.
Yes. But then when you're part of like a group or a community or even a group of friends all doing it together, if you've reached out and connected to other people, you realize very quickly how not normal that is to go from 0 to 5K in 1 month.
Yeah, that's wild.
It can really give people like the reassurance they need to stick with it rather than being like, oh, I tried it for 2 months. It doesn't work. I'm quitting.
Okay. I love it. So I'm going to link that in the show notes. So if you guys want that, it'll be in the show notes. I'll also link your TikTok and Instagram, but you want to say your handles real fast for the people that are lazy and don't click in the show notes?
Yeah. My TikTok is Julie Does UGC and my Instagram is Julie K Does UGC.
Twitter, what's your Twitter? Same thing?
Julie Does UGC. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We keep it pretty simple over here.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, someone had it on TikTok already.
They did, or Twitter, or Instagram, yeah.
Yeah, that's mine's like has a buy in one of them and not a buy on the other. I'm like, oh, that's annoying, but oh well. Awesome. Well, I super appreciate you chatting with me, especially like a lot of the stuff is, like I said, I'm a slacker on some of these platforms. And so it was super informative and educational for me. So you guys, it's in her show notes. If you are enjoying this podcast or you've learned anything in this episode, you guys share this, subscribe. And then also, if you'd be awesome and review this and leave a comment on whatever platform you go to, that always helps get it out. Thanks, Julie, so much, and have a great rest of your evening. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, it took us long enough, but I'm happy we got it done.
No, I love it. Awesome. Yeah. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.